Flesh and Blood print run prediction video. Yeah, this is gonna go well. The indie trading card game Flesh and Blood has a history of playing things, we'll call it pretty close to the vest. When it comes to player numbers, print run numbers, and exact copies for collectability, some information has come out, but a lot of it has stayed behind closed doors. And in all fairness, popular TCGs do this all the time. But as of the recording of this video, we're in the throes of Collector Week, where Legend Story Studios has promised the community a peek behind the curtain of Oz, and we are going to get, at the culmination of this week, wait for it, drum roll, additional print run information about previous Flesh and Blood sets. So today, what we are going to do is we are going to talk about what that information might be. That's right, in this video, I'm going to predict Flesh and Blood print run numbers. If that is going to make you mad, I promise you can leave me a comment about it and I will read it. I try to respond to everything that I get, but you know, I'm going to be very honest with what I see. So not only are we going to predict what I think we're going to see, but we're going to predict what fallout or what might come from this announcement, right? What is going to happen within the Flesh and Blood community, both players and collectors, because of or due to this announcement. Now, as I see it, this announcement is going to go one of two ways, so I need to address that first. In my opinion, we have Flesh and Blood as I knew it and as your grandpappy knew it in Flesh and Blood 1.0, where you get first edition unlimited pre-FaB 2.0, and then you have post-FaB 2.0. So I see a world where Legend Story Studios picks one of two lanes and says, we're either going to give you the old information that you've been asking for and dying for, or we're going to give you FaB 2.0 and let the past be the past. Let's address what happens if we get old FaB information first. Now, pre-FaB 2.0, we had sets the likes of Tales of Aria Unlimited, and Everfest, as well as the original block, Welcome to Wraith, Arc, and Crew Unlimited, all with unknown print run numbers. So if we decide to lean into old FaB, I find it impossible to believe we won't get some updates here. First and foremost, I think we will get an update on Everfest Unlimited. Everfest Unlimited kind of leaked to the community. It was kind of on their website and kind of slithered out there. Maybe we weren't supposed to know about it, but we do, and I think Legend Story Studios gives an update about that, as well as Everfest first edition print runs. I can't see that world if we go to FaB 1.0 where we don't get that information. And culminating with that, I would bet, my gamble would be in that scenario, that we also get at least Tales of Aria first edition print run. Now, Tales of Aria Unlimited is slightly less likely, in my opinion, that we get because it seems non-consequential at the moment. At the time of the recording of this video, Tales of Aria first edition still is affordable for the rest of the community, as is Everfest. So I think that one either might be held onto if it's a number we definitely don't need, or if it's something, you know, maybe the company just doesn't feel like exposing. But all of these scenarios have some repercussions, and this one, in my opinion, is probably the least volatile repercussion that you could have. Everybody in the community knows that Monarch was printed way too much. We're just going to say it. There was far too many boxes of Monarch First Edition printed. At 125,000 box print run, this was massive and far exceeded what our community needed at that time and still to this day. And given the fact that Monarch Unlimited is probably around the same size, I can't imagine that Legend Story Studios was able to pivot that quickly and modify print runs in that short of amount of time. With Tales of Aria being the next set, I think when we get Tales of Aria First Edition print run information, whenever that is, I expect it to closely mirror what Monarch was. Now, we will be able to tell a little bit about what Legend Story Studios was seeing with the growth of their game and whether or not they were kind of paying attention to some of the fallout with Monarch when we look at Tales of Aria print run numbers. If those numbers exceeded a little bit and, you know, maybe went up even the slightest bit, we say maybe they weren't paying attention to some of the fallout or some of the product that wasn't needed, or maybe the mishandling of the product by things like Channel Fireball and the powers that may be. I truly believe that we are going to get a similar print run with Tales of Aria as we had to Monarch First Edition, and Everfest is the first set that you could tell me we might see a slight reduction in boxes printed. Now, those of you out there that are screaming at your computer screen or furiously typing a comment as we sit here right now, Everfest is so cheap, there's so many more boxes. I honestly think Everfest is not cheaper because there's a million more boxes out there. I think it is overprinted. There are too many boxes of Everfest out there for the size of the FaB community, but I truly believe that it just wasn't as desirable as a set. Flesh and Blood itself has always had weirdness with supplemental sets. The niche community and those who are really involved seem to love them, but the general population, and where FaB is going now, leaning into the casual player base, doesn't seem to absorb them as aggressively as some of the main products. Now, whether that's due to the lack of limited player, the powers that be, or what may have, I'm not sure, but it does seem to be that this is the case. Now, we have another scenario here. We have a scenario where LSS says, Legend Story Studios just says, you know what, let the past be the past. We know the Monarch skyrocketing and then fall down. We know Welcome to Wraith Unlimited, Arc Unlimited, Crew Unlimited, probably hundreds of thousands of boxes have been printed. It's absolutely massive. We know Tales of Aria Unlimited, Monarch Unlimited, Everfest. We know there's a lot of boxes. But we are going to let the past be the past, and we're going to focus on the pivot and the positive change that has been FaB 2.0. And in this scenario, we will get updated print run numbers for, well, what is probably the first real big piece of information when it comes to FaB 2.0. We have Uprising, and we have Dynasty, and eventually we have Outsiders. Now, I don't think the least likely scenario in this whole situation, in my opinion, is that we get Outsiders print run information, and I also believe that with Dynasty. Now, I have, for my Patreon, if you want to check out patreon.com/HometownTCG, it supports Hometown TCG and all of my subsequent channels. I have information about predicting some of these more modern print runs, but you could tell me a world where we get Uprising print run information. We know the number of Uprising boxes that have been produced, and this is a more concrete number. This is we're able to track this more, we're able to do more with this information because it's not a first edition versus unlimited argument. There's not two products to go by, there's one central product to focus on, and in my opinion, the Uprising box was the pinnacle of FaB 2.0. I think it was done perfectly. I have a video that is planned about collectability in Flesh and Blood, so if you like the vibe here and you like this information, make sure you're subscribed. But I really think Uprising was perfect, and we are going to see if we get this path of information where we get FaB 2.0, we're going to see a drastic and massive reduction in print run from the highs of, what we assume post Monarch was, and even the Monarch 125,000 box. I truly believe at FaB 2.0 and going forward, Legend Story Studios realized we can't print that many boxes. The indie TCG community is not going to the moon anymore. Everyone's not just buying everything that's on the shelf, hoping it goes up in value, or trying every game known to man anymore. We have to focus in and laser our print run numbers a bit, and I believe they did that. It seems like Uprising was printed much better and much more responsibly than previous sets, but we don't know. It could truly be that it's not, but I truly believe it is. Now, moving on to Dynasty, it seems like the box shifted a little bit, and Dynasty, being another one of those supplemental sets, didn't sell as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get that information yet. It still feels too new, and again, there's no way we're getting Outsiders information, but I truly think those are the two paths that we're going to get. But what's going to happen when this information drops? What's going to happen when LSS gives us the print run information? Well, I think we're going to see people make moves. Historically, people who are rabid about Flesh and Blood and huge fans look for any excuse to make a move. I said to my patrons in a post earlier this week that people are always looking for an excuse to buy what they love, and I feel like this will be no exception. People are going to look at this announcement and find some way to say, oh, because of this, I want to go buy this product, and that's not a bad thing. That shows a rabid and avid fan base, and you love to see something like that, but I wouldn't freak out over any of these numbers coming. The only thing that would be a cause for concern is if we get Uprising print run information or FaB 2.0 print run information, and it closely mirrors that of the Monarch print runs. That would be cause for concern, and you can bet there will be a video here if that comes. But I want to know, what do you think out there? What information do you think is coming with the print run numbers? And do you think, like I do, that people are going to find an excuse, no matter what the numbers are, to buy products from the announced sets, from whatever comes out in the announcement? People are going to lean in and buy stuff from those sets because, again, I truly just think people want an excuse to buy the things they love. Let me know in the comment section below, and again, make sure you're subscribed to this channel. We're already racing towards 100 subs. I didn't even realize people were going to find this channel. I posted about it once or twice here and there, so thank you all so much for hanging out. Until next time, you all know me. My name is Josh. I hope you have some fun here, and until next time, we will see you around. I need a new sign up for this channel. Goodbye.